We're on, go ahead and call this regular city council meeting to order at 6 o'clock. If you'll stand, we will have an invocation by Pastor Mike Vasquez, First Baptist Church.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we do thank you for this day. Thank you for the great city of Hondo. We want to lift up our leaders today, Lord. Thank you for the installation of our new leadership. God, we ask that you would continue to guide these city employees as they strive to do what's best for our city and do what's best for our people. Lord, I ask that you would bring about your protection on God's country. Storms have come and may be coming again. Lord, we ask that you would bring about protection. Lord, I ask that you would be with each of our people, each of our citizens, that we would continue to rally together, to lift one another up, to encourage one another, and be there for one another. Thank you, Lord, again for your many blessings. Thank you for all that you've done for us. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Thank you. Remain standing. We'll pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now we move to item 5, which is the introduction and swearing in of our new elected officials. First, place 1, which is the election of Brett Williams to the council. I think we'll have Judge Klaus do that honor. If you'll step forward, Mr. Williams and Mr. Klaus.
Mayor, do I need to step down?
Not wait till I get, I'll take you next.
Where do we go?
Right here in front, you would.
Do you have a large type one of these?
I'm sorry.
Oh, then we just here a second. That. This is your oath of office. This is your statement. He takes the oath of office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, Brett, if you will raise your right hand. I, Brett E. Williams,
I, Brett E. Williams,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of council member, place 1, of
the duties of the office of Council Place 1 of
the city of Hondo,
the City of Hondo,
state of Texas,
State of Texas,
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
and the charter and ordinances
and the charter and ordinances
of this city.
of this city.
And I furthermore solemnly swear
And I furthermore solemnly swear
that I am not directly
that I not directly
or indirectly paid,
or indirectly paid,
offered or promised to pay,
offered or promised to pay,
contribute or promised to contribute
contribute or promised to contribute
any money or thing of
Any-
value,
any money or thing of value,
or promised any public office
or promised any public office
or employment
or employment
for the giving or withholding of a vote,
for the giving
or withholding
or withholding
of a
of
vote
a vote
at the election in which I was elected,
at the election in which I was elected,
or as a reward to secure my appointment
or as a reward to secure my appointment
or confirmation,
or confirmation,
whichever the case may be,
whichever the case may be.
so help me God.
So help me God.
This way.
He just signs the statement, right?
That's correct.
Huh?
He just signs
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll have to sign, you'll have to sign. Both of y'all will have to sign.
the statement of appointment.
Yeah, I think.
This one? I guess that goes to the
Yeah, it goes to me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Glenn. Next, we have place 2, Bobby Vella, to be sworn in for his second term.
It's never good to follow the church process. So, you raise your right hand. I, Francisco Roberto Bobby Vela,
I, Francisco Roberto Bobby Vela,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of council member, place 2,
of the office of Council Place 2
of the city of Hondo,
of the City of Hondo,
state of Texas,
State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United
the
States
Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of the states,
and the charter and ordinances of this city.
and the charter and ordinances of this city.
And I furthermore solemnly
And
swear
I furthermore solemnly swear
that I have not directly or indirectly paid,
that I have not directly or indirectly paid,
offered,
offered,
promised to pay,
promised to pay,
contributed,
contributed,
or promised to
or
contribute
promised to contribute
any money or thing of value,
any money or thing of value,
or promised any public
or
office
promised any public office,
or employment for the
or
giving
employment for the giving,
or withholding of a vote
or withholding of a vote
at the election at which I was elected,
at the election at which I was elected,
or as a reward to
Or-
secure my appointment
or as a reward to secure my appointment
or
or
confirmation,
confirmation,
whichever the case may be,
whichever the case may be.
so help you God.
So help me God.
That's it. Congratulations.
Just a second, we'll get signature. Thank you, Your Honor, for doing that for us.
Thank you.
Thanks for being
It
with
was a
me.
pleasure being here. May I be excused?
Stay, we'd love to have you stay. All right, congratulations to both you individuals. Now we get down to business. Item number 6 on the agenda, citizens' public comments. We have one signed-in comment, no emails. Mr. Chevelle Lopez has a comment.
Good evening, Council. My name is Chavez Lopez. I'm a representative for the Hondo Empowerment Committee. First of all, I want to greet the re-elected councilman and also the new councilman that just came in. I hope we're looking forward that they make decisions that are in the best interest of the citizens and the residents here from Hondo. The next thing I want to say is also that the county officials that swore these councilmen in right now, I guess they don't respect the rules of the city council by coming in here and not wearing a mask. They should have been wearing a mask like everybody else. They think they're above us or what, And I want to talk about tonight about climate change, because the extreme weather that has been impacting us is very bad. We have a drought. We've had the freeze that came in February. We had the tornado and the large hail that came in, melon-sized hail that came into Hondo. And today we have another, storm that might be coming in with hail again, And I think that all of this climate change is due to the fossil fuels, which is the oil, which is not good and creating all these changes here on Earth for us. So I think that the city of Hondo needs to place some type of programs that do some, that help stop climate change, the extreme weather. For example, we have, the city has bought, in the past year, they bought a lot of automobiles for the police department. And I know they bought a new van for the airport. Well, maybe one of those vehicles could have been an electric vehicle to stop the emissions, Every little bit counts. Maybe some of the city council buildings should be powered by solar panels or by wind energy. Just saying that, every city here in the state of Texas should have some type of program to stop the the extreme weather that's being caused due to climate change. And we need to do something about it here. Thank you.
That is all the citizens' comments. Next item is discuss and consider the appointment of the mayor pro tem. This is a council action. My only recommendation is that consider reappointment of our longest-standing councilman, Mr. Johnny Villa. This is up to the council, and I'm open for,
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion
okay?
to reappoint Councilman Villa as our mayor pro tem.
We have a second to that?
Second.
Do it.
I'd like to nominate Bobby Bella.
Okay, let me get through with this. It wasn't a second? Any mo-
I did this.
Did you second it? All right, any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion fails. Another motion.
Your Honor, I'd like to nominate Bobby Bella.
Mr. Vale has been nominated. Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Do we have any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 8, discuss and consider approving the minutes from the regular city council meeting of April the 26th. These minutes were very lengthy. Hope you all had a good chance to take a look at them, but open for any, first a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
Discussion? Any additions or corrections? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. I'm going to postpone items number 9 and 10 and go to 11, city manager reports. Mr. Abbott, Albert.
Council, this evening, we'd like to recognize the employee of the first quarter and, short 5 weeks that I've been here, learning a little bit about Cody Keenan. I've been surprised that I think he's been here 6 or 8 months, and he's already been nominated or at least presented as the employee of the first quarter. But during the winter storms, Cody spent a lot of extra time in the city. He actually was sleeping at one of our facilities during the storms to keep operations moving forward for our residents, and did an outstanding job. And I'd like to ask Buddy if he has anything he'd like to share regarding Cody.
So Cody came in, like you said, about 6 or 8 months ago, fresh in this, in the utility industry, but he took the bull by the horns. He's given it us all. Everything he's done 110%. During that winter storm, he was here day, night, 24 hours. Anything that we've asked of him, he's produced, like I said, 110%. We're very proud of employees like this that give it their all. So thank you very much.
Cody, you want to come up here? Mayor, did you want to?
City Mayor Pro Tem. Congratulations, sir.
Did you want me to go through my report?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll just start off with, I think everyone's aware of tonight that there was another bulletin issued by the National Weather Service that it looks like we are facing with the possibility of severe thunderstorms again this evening with large hail, damaging winds, and possibly heavy rain. So hopefully we'll get through this agenda tonight relatively quickly so our staff and residents can go home and take shelter. I'm going to start first with an update on the April 28th weather event. Some of this you're already familiar with, but some of this is new data, and there may be some residents out there who are watching us on Facebook who have not heard these statistics yet. The National Weather Service has confirmed that there was an EF1 tornado in the Hondo area from 7:30 p.m. until 7:41 p.m. with winds between 86 and 110 miles per hour. Hailstones ranging from the size of baseball to softball fell in the area. A hailstone measuring 6.4 inches in diameter that fell in Hondo may have set a new record for the state of Texas. According to the American Red Cross Damage Assessment Report for Hondo, Dehanas, Castroville, and Divine, there were 660 dwellings that suffered some level of damage related to the storms. On Saturday and Sunday after the storm, the American Red Cross distributed roughly 300 emergency disaster relief supplies to residents in Hondo and the surrounding area. The storms impacted several city facilities and vehicles with roof damage, broken windows, and water damage. Roughly 42 city facilities have been affected by the storm. We are currently wrapping up mitigation efforts on the facilities. Insurance adjusters are performing their inspections and writing estimates. And after the formal coverage review has been completed, the scope of work and improvements will start on city facilities. Last week, staff posted information on the city's website and Facebook page about an organization called Crisis Cleanup. Crisis Cleanup is a web-based platform that connects survivors of storms with volunteers who can assist with cleanup. If a resident cannot access the Crisis website, they can call the following number and a staff member will help them access Crisis website to get assistance in their cleanup. That number is 830-741-8348. And of course, you're aware that the city had several dumpsters, one out here at City Hall and one over at the parking lot next to the pool. We moved those dumpsters out on at least 4 different occasions. Republic Waste was very helpful. We had a lot of people disposing of debris, and we stopped those dumpsters last Friday, and hopefully we'll get rid of the one that's out here this week.
Scott, do you know if they're going to do something about these that are full? This one back here behind the city building is 3 or 4 feet over.
They were supposed to bring a larger dumpster out today, and we're supposed to remove the debris, but that hasn't happened. It should take place this week, and then that dumpster will be removed as well. The smaller dumpster was actually being used by our contractor who's remodeling the old PD building. And obviously, we started this process a week ago, and we put the word out that we were going to stop utilizing dumpsters. It was Friday, so obviously some people are taking advantage of the dumpster that we still had out there. But it will be removed this week and cleaned up. The canopy, which was blocking Avenue T, has been removed and the street is open. And the one last item I'd like to cover regarding the weather storm is that the chief of police is currently working on a report for City Council explaining why the tornado sirens were not used during the recent weather events. And he's going to identify steps or protocols that need to be taken to ensure that the use of the local warning system for future severe weather events is in place as well.
Scott, you had mentioned that you were going to find out how to dispose the materials at next to the Z's Mart. And I understand now that it's been cleaned, but who did the cleaning and where was everything disposed?
J.R. Ramon is a demolition company out of San Antonio. And on the contract we signed, they're responsible for disposing of those materials in an appropriate manner. I can go back and actually find out where they disposed of them.
But who paid for that?
We're paying for a portion of it, and Z's Mart will pay for a portion of it as well also.
Why is the city responsible for half?
It's on the city right away.
You know, I had a long conversation with Jesse and Frank regarding this issue. I think it's best if I let Jesse address this comment.
Yes, Councilman. What happens is when the debris lands in a public right-of-way, and there's a public safety issue because it was blocking the street. Whenever there's a public safety issue, the city can go ahead and immediately clean up the immediate danger for the public safety. They can go ahead and use general funds to do that. They can and also seek reimbursement from the landowner for damages associated with that. And I believe the city has entered into an agreement with the landowner regarding that. In this case, we were able to identify where it came from. But as you know, sometimes there are catastrophic events that happen just to public property. Storm washes out a road or something happens like that. It's not attributable to anyone. In those cases, we just go ahead and proceed for public safety and make the repair or cleanup as needed. So in this case, there was a canopy. We could identify that it was in the right-of-way. It was closing the street. So we immediately sought to go ahead and get that remediate that situation, reopen the street, and then work with the landlord, because parts of the debris were on his property and parts of it were in the street. So we came to an agreement with the owner to be able to immediately remove the debris.
So he was billed because it was his roof, basically?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it was quite clear that it was,
Yeah.
is part of the canopy from his property. Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to add that they did a fantastic job of cleaning up. They went through all the steps
Right.
of safely removing all the debris and then cleaning up afterwards. They had the skid steer out there with the sweeper. So,
Right.
thank you so much.
Right. Z's Mart has agreed to pay for 25% of the cost, and the cost was a little bit over $4,000 to remove it and dispose. Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
I'll cover the COVID-19 update. There are now enough vaccine doses available for everyone seeking a vaccination in Medina County. The county health unit will take walk-ins every Tuesday and Wednesday from 7:30 a.m. till 11 a.m. and from 1 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. As of May 4th, there are 19 active cases in the county, and since May 4th of 2020, the county has confirmed 3,795 cases. The city currently has 16 accounts on a COVID payment plan and 5 due to the winter storm. Just one thing.
Being that you're on the accounts, Scott, 2 meetings ago, I asked for a list of residents that were affected with excessive water bills. Did we ever get a figure on that?
The number of residents who received excessive water bills,
Right.
I will
Or
get a
we-
list of that. Okay.
Sir?
I will get you a list.
Well, I asked for it 2 weeks ago.
I will get that to you tomorrow.
I think probably the council still could be interested in trying to help some of the people that had the excessive bills, like a lot of other cities are doing. So I think that is important information to get.
Okay. I will get on top of that. The only other, well, there's a couple items I want to bring to your attention. We have an elected officials workshop that you're invited to participate on July 11th from 9:30 a.m. until 4 p.m. The Alamo Area Council of Governments, in partnership with a local law firm, are hosting the one-day elected official workshop to discuss the following topics: duties and responsibilities of elected officials, budgeting and financial management, legal issues pertaining to open meetings, open records, purchasing, and conflict of interest. As a new council member or anyone who's currently on the council, if you wish to attend this workshop on June 11th, if you contact me or Megan, we'll make reservations for you to attend the workshop. Another item I'd like to bring to your attention: on June 5th and 6th, the airport will be hosting the South Texas Airstrip Attack, which is a half-mile side-by-side racing event. The event is being presented by the North Park Chevrolet, and tickets for the event can be purchased at www.airstripattack.com. And the last item I wish to cover would be that I have sent out an email regarding a council retreat for June 7th and 8th. If you can, let me know as soon as possible if those dates work for you as well. That's all I have,
You
Mayor.
didn't mention the rescue plan, American Rescue
Oh, yeah,
Plan.
yeah. To be honest with you, Mayor, we don't have as much to provide. It's still the current status that the state has received the funds, and we're still waiting for direction from the state as far as what steps we're going to have to take in order.
Today, we got from TML and also from ACOG a large article about the knowledge that we need to know about that, and I sent you one, and I'll send the council that tomorrow. And I haven't read it myself, but I think it delineates what we can do and what we can't do. So
Yeah, it's the same, Mayor, it's the same information we've been receiving for the past several weeks. What we've been waiting for, at least staff and myself, when is the state going to release the money? What are the protocols that we're going to follow in order to get the money? Everything that they're outlining as far as what we can do, we've known that. It's nothing new. We're just waiting for the
I
state.
won't argue with it, but I'll read it,
Okay.
and I'll get the council to have a copy of it also.
Okay.
Pretty extensive.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Public Works report, starting with the Water Division.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I didn't think I was going to be here tonight, so I was going to have Jerry and Adam present, but I ended up being able to make it, so I'll go ahead and give the Public Works report. Water Division, work orders today. As of today, there's 12 primary, zero secondary. Water restrictions, as of today, we are at the 665 mark, which EAA has lifted us from stage 1 water restrictions. Moving forward, we've talked about possibly, moving forward through this year, staying in a mandatory stage 1 water restrictions. We'll look and see what kind of rainfall we get and discuss it with Mr. Albert on what his recommendations would be moving forward with that stage 1 water restriction year-round. But on a good note, we are out of that zone, and we got more rain to come, hopefully. Street maintenance, the work orders, as of today, we're at 24 work orders have been completed since the last council meeting. 113 potholes have been filled. And 14th Street, as we discussed in the previous council meetings, we are out for bid at the moment. So once we receive those bids, we'll come back to council with that. Any questions?
Any questions on the Public Works report?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Before you leave, and I don't know whether people we have Public Works, I'm going to go back to item, item 10, proclamation declaring National Public Works Week. So we would like to present you with that proclamation. I'll read it. Whereas National Public Works Week nationally and in Hondo will be celebrated this year from May 16th to May 22nd with a theme of Stronger Together, which gives our city and its citizens the opportunity to think about the role our public works staff plays in continually maintaining Hondo as a great place to live and work. And by our employees working together, the impact these workers have admirable results in the accomplishment of goals some think are unattainable. And whereas our city Public Works employees keep our community's rhythm moving by providing an orchestra of infrastructure services in water, wastewater, electrical services, maintenance of public buildings, parks, grounds, streets, solid waste, and other quality of life services. And whereas the value and dedication to the public never was more obvious than this year when the city was faced with the occurrences of a pandemic, a once-in-a-lifetime winter freeze, straight-line tornado-like winds, and flood creating rains, which demonstrated the skills and tenacity of our workers who worked extraordinary hours as they efficiently provided services to our citizens to maintain safe as possible conditions throughout the city. And whereas all of our citizens, civic leaders, and yes, even our children should gain knowledge and understanding of the continued contribution of the city's public work employees to the well-being of the community. Whereas as all of us go through our daily lives, we should have, as the opportunity arises, thank these employees as you see them, clearing an electrical outage, fixing a water or wastewater leak, repairing a street, or simply keeping our city facilities and grounds in good repair as they meet their citizens' needs. So now therefore be it resolved that I, James W. Anderson Sr., with the power vested in me as the mayor of the city of Hondo, do hereby proclaim the week of May 16th through the 22nd as National Public Works Week in our community, and ask that our citizens pay tribute to all of our public works employees and recognize the substantial contributions they make in protecting and maintaining our health, safety, and quality of life. Signed this night. So that proclamation, I want to be sure you hear it. And we'll have the original for you so you can put up wherever you want to put it up. Okay. All right, we go to item 13, report on negotiations between the City of Hondo and the Texas Department of Transportation, TxDOT, pertaining to a request by the City of Hondo to lower the speed limit on US Highway 90 at the east end of town. As the council members that were here before tonight know that we talked several months ago about trying to bring the speed limit down on Highway 90 on the east end of town to a lower speed limit. At that time, we talked about 40. And And ever since then, we've been negotiating with the TxDOT about that, and they finally did a traffic study. We met with them, I think, last Friday, I believe, Mr. Albert and Chief Valenzuela and myself, and we had a very good discussion about how we feel about the speed limit along there. The first blush they had, they wanted to just go ahead and reduce it to 45, and we kept arguing down, and I think our main argument was what the traffic coming out of those restaurants out there on 90, coming across, trying to get on and going west, they just dart out, and the speed limit of 50 is causing a lot of accidents. So surprisingly, after we met on Friday, we received an email that they'd agreed to recommend to the state people that the speed limit be reduced to 40 from 173 down to E, which accomplished pretty much what we were after. Same meeting we had with them, they discussed the speed limit coming in from the west. As you know, coming around that curve, it's 50 now, and very dangerous. And they brought it up and decided that they agreed to reduce it, I believe, to 40, wasn't it, Mr. Albert? So both of those are recommendations to the State Highway Department, and hopefully they'll be approved up there. But if we do that, then I think we'll maybe save some lives and some accidents that have been happening. So, you want to add anything to that, Mr. Albert? Okay, thank you. Questions?
No, sir.
Okay. We'll see what happens when we get a report back to the state. Item 14, discuss and consider approving the City of Hondo Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors to submit a grant application to the United States Department of Agricultural Rural Development Office for a grant for purchasing of diesel mechanic equipment and tools to authorize our mayor to sign and execute a grant agreement on behalf of the City of Hondo Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors. Ms. Flores?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Hondo Economic Development Corporation is looking forward to an opportunity to apply for a USDA grant and requesting authorizing the EDC to submit this grant application. This grant is to purchase diesel mechanic tools and equipment for the James Danner Annex. And I'm also asking to please authorize our mayor to sign and execute the grant agreement on behalf of the EDC department. Should we be granted this, awarded this grant, I'll come back at a future council meeting to advise you of how much and then what the next steps will be. So staff is recommending to approve the City of Hondo Economic Development to submit the grant to the United States Department of Agriculture for the purchase of diesel mechanics, tools, and equipment, and to authorize our mayor to sign and execute the grant agreement on behalf of the City of Hondo Economic Development Corporation.
What is the amount that you're asking for?
Right now, it's about $400,000, Mayor. If we would have purchased it back in 2014, when you guys were awarded the grant, it would have been under $300,000. And so that's why we're starting to move forward so that we can start these classes in August of 2022.
And this is for diesel mechanic equipment?
This is for diesel mechanics to teach the vocational classes. And again, we, as a city, back when we finished up the Danner Annex, we sat down collectively and said, you know what, instead of us having any institution provide the equipment, we would own it all. So that if an institution decided that they didn't want to teach the courses, you know, we would give them first right of refusal, but we would have the equipment already so someone else could teach the courses for us. And so we do own the equipment in the welding and the HVAC as well.
You all have heard the explanation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any questions, discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Item 15, discuss and consider the recommendation of appointments to the Hondo City Council Liaison Director for the City of Hondo Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors and City of Hondo Planning and Zoning Commission. This is item 15 in your packet. With the resignation from Planning and Zoning Commission, let me go back. Number one, John McAnally has served as the Hondo City Council's Liaison Director to the City of Hondo Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors since August of 2013. With his departure from the Hondo City Council, I recommend Councilman John Villa as his replacement. Number 2, Katie Habe, who was appointed to the City of Hondo Planning and Zoning Commission in July 2019, and whose term will expire in July 2021, has submitted her resignation because she moved out of the city limits. To replace Mrs. Habe, I recommend the appointment of former City Councilman John McAnally. Mr. McAnally served on this commission prior to being elected councilman, and his experience makes him a very good replacement. I recommend he be appointed to serve out this term and also be reappointed in July 2021. That's the action that I'm requesting.
Mayor, I move to approve.
Second.
Do we have any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 16, discuss and consider a request from A. Malik 79 Investment, Inc. for a specific use permit for an approximate 2,300 square foot property located at 2535 19th Street, Hondo, Texas, and described in Block 1, Lot 3 of the Texas Diversified Subdivision as amended by the Reed Subdivision Plat of the record at Volume 4, Page 1, Plat Records, Medina County, Texas. The current zoning for the subject property is Commercial C District. The property owner has requested a specific use permit authorizing use of the subject property for the retail sale of tobacco and CBD products. Ms. Robinson.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. This item before you this evening was an item that was presented at our last City Council meeting for public hearing and consideration. It was tabled at that meeting for further discussion with the applicant. So I'll go through just very briefly the description of the project and the response from the applicant, and then the applicant is present this evening if you have any questions specifically for them. So this request is for a specific use permit for the use of a property at 2535 19th Street for the retail sale of tobacco and CBD products. As stated in our last meeting, the Planning and Zoning Commission has held a public hearing on April 19th and offered their recommendations on this item. Staff recommends approval of this item. And you'll see in your packet, the second page of your packet, a response from the applicant regarding the concerns that were raised at the last council meeting regarding the lighting and the murals over the window. And the applicant has stated that they are willing to remove those from their plan if council so chooses to add that as a condition on the specific use permit. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have, or I will cede the floor to the applicant.
The Planning and Zoning Committee denied this permit, right?
They recommended denial to city council, yes,
What
sir.
was the reason
They did not give
They
one.
didn't have any.
Well, Mayor, I know that 99% of the time we go ahead and agree with the Planning and Zoning Commission on their approvals or disapprovals, but like Laura said, our concerns were what about the lighting and all that, and the tenant is willing to not do that, so I can't see why we can't allow this business to come in. I mean, we're wanting businesses to come in and we're denying businesses to come in, so I don't know how the rest of the council feels, but
I agree with Councilman Villa. I think the owner is willing to meet us halfway and
with the
lighting
concerns that
and
we
the-
had,
and the
you know.
signage. And I have no issues approving this moving forward.
Only question I have, and I appreciate the fact that the lights won't go on, but what are you talking about in the way of graphics? Things on the window or what?
Yes, so if you'll see the next page, and it's a little dark, but you'll see the next page is a picture of their establishment that was recently opened in Castroville, right down the road. And so the graphics that were raised as a concern during our last meeting were the window covering graphics that they have. And so those are the ones that they agree with removal if that's placed as a specific use permit conditions. So they're not lit graphics, it's like a window screen.
But that was not even addressed by the P and Z board. They recommended this.
Not by us either.
Nothing, they didn't give us a reason.
They didn't even talk about it.
So, I agree with both council members, but it's more because the P and Z board just gave us a blank check. We don't want it, so disapprove it. Okay, why?
And you, I don't know what the conversation was with the P and Z. Do you know what that was of concern?
So there was not extensive discussion with P and Z. The P and Z's packet was very similar to the packet that's within council's backup. The PowerPoint presentation slides that went through the specifics of the case. Staff did recommend approval that night as well, and no commentary during the public hearing was presented negatively from any individuals within 200 feet or anyone there at the meeting,
Is
so.
it the same graphics that we're seeing here? Is it the same?
Yes,
graphics?
sir. So that is a photo of their establishment in
It's a
Castroville.
picture of the planet, picture of the world.
Yes, sir.
I don't find that
I
great.
think our main concern, if I'm not mistaken, a week ago was mainly the lighting. I don't see where the graphics are gonna make
I mean, I have
any
a
difference.
concern that's not graphics related. I mean,
Sure.
it's more about what's being sold here. I mean, I think everybody up here, everybody in this room is open to growth in our city, but Planet 420, does anybody know what that means? That's not a good thing. That's talking about drugs, vaping, pipes. All these things are being, our school is full of them. People getting caught, little kids getting caught with vaping, and you're just encouraging more of that into our community.
They surely don't have to go to Planet 420 to get that. They can go to your local store right now.
They may, I agree with you. There's some of that in the convenience stores too, but, I mean, I would oppose bringing in a business like this to God's country, period.
Is that one, I wasn't aware, is that one of the items that can be purchased at your stores?
I can answer this
Definitely
question.
the vaping.
So it says, good evening, City Council and Mayor. So the Planet 420, this is actually the name of the Planet's Planet 4/20, and this is name of the one of the store, but it could be a different name. It's not gonna be the same exact name, but I just sent that picture because it was requested like what kind of graphic we would have it on at the store. And on the sale wise, we don't have anything that has the related to drug or has THC on that on the product. We don't sell it at all because THC is not allowed in Texas, so we're not selling anything like that.
But CBD oil, that comes from marijuana, right? It's extracted
Yes,
from
so-
marijuana. And you sell pipes too, right?
We
smoke marijuana.
we are actually not very big on that. The more focuses we are on CBD and plus the novelty product like earrings, shoes, shirts, and stuff like that. In all my store, we're not just like our main focus on CBD and also the novelty product. So the name you see, Planet 420, it could be changed. It couldn't be the same exact name right here.
That's a concern of mine. This sign is an advertisement to all the kids in our community, and they all know what 420 is. And,
Yeah, so it's not going to be the same sign. We don't put the same exact sign on each of
But
our
it's
store.
the product though is gonna be the same. So,
Regardless of what the sign says,
So
you know,
we're
it's
gonna
the
remove all
product.
the
I agree with you.
right.
Jesse, and what parameters does our decision have to be made based off of? I mean, are we looking just, you know, as a business, or do we have to, as a city, look into what's also being sold
Well,
there?
one of the things to bear in mind is that the way the particular Hondo code is written, it's very restrictive right now, right? It limits a very few kinds of uses for, this is a commercial property and a commercial building. It's a commercial use, but it so happens that in Hondo, the listed of uses that are commercial in nature and allowed actually in a commercial building is actually very, very limited. For example, you can't open a Hallmark card shop. You can't open a boot store. There's a lot of things that would be standard commercial uses that are not within the automatic permitted uses in a commercial district in Hondo. So and I think the reason it's written that way is so that it's not that these other uses are automatically to be disallowed or denied. It's just to allow the council to have an opportunity to review and to apply any additional provisions or restrictions. For example, we discussed lighting earlier, signage issues, hours of operation, things like that, that may be factors that would relate to general public health and safety type concerns that the city can, that council or the Planning and Zoning Commission or staff can then recommend to the council or Planning and Zoning Commission when they consider the special use permit. The other way it could be done, and some other cities do, is they are very permissive, right? Anything that's lawful and allowed as a commercial use, and they have a very long list of things. And then the few things that aren't are really, outliers, and then those have to meet some special burden to then be allowed to get the special use permit. But Hondo and some of the smaller cities, they do it the other way, right? They have a more limited use that automatic, and then it allows P&Z and the council to weigh in on some of these details. So that's kind of the nature of some of these things. Now, the products that he's describing, to the extent they're allowed by law, then there are general commercial type uses. So it's up to the council and the P&Z to weigh in and see whether there are certain types of things. For example, a lot of communities often have special codes relating to game rooms, for example. Some communities have issues with gambling and other legal activities which are not allowed and often associated with game rooms, and so they have a special ordinance on game rooms. They may have special rules relating to tattoo shops or certain types of things where again, they make a finding that there are certain criminal or certain public health and safety issues, and they can apply special codes for that. But Hondo is not there with any of those kinds of things right now. So this is just so happens to be a particular use that's not within the very short list. I think it's like bakeries, a few other small retail type shops that are automatically allowed. So it's very, very limited and surprisingly limited. But so for that reason, I just want to explain that's the nature of the way your code is written. So it's not an automatic penalty.
I think also we talked last week about maybe looking at those items and see if we may need to add some as permissible activities. Because I think those were put on fairly quickly, and I think probably we need to review the list to see if there's any others that might need to, standard retail businesses that need to be on there.
Mayor, and I'm like Councilman Ituarte, we ought to know the reason why planning and zoning is denying this permit. We're just out. How can we approve or disapprove something when we don't even know why, the reason why they denied the special use permit?
They didn't even have a discussion.
I really believe what we're discussing tonight, Mr. Williams and other people brought up, is exactly what they were thinking, but didn't talk about it.
Well,
what we're doing here is finding reasons to not allow it on him. And for the last 7 months that I've been on this council, again, we've been talking about new business, push Hondo, pro Hondo, bring it in, let's help Hondo grow. But here's our first prime example of 2021 of not allowing our community business to grow business-wise. We've been harping it for the last 7 months.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Correct, Councilman Williams asked, do you sell any pipes or drug paraphernalia?
No, you can all my store, I started business in 2018, and I create more than 200 jobs around San Antonio. All my product is American-made companies. All my product is legit. I don't sell anything that related to drugs or bad for the community norms. All my store, they're legit, clean. I'm selling legals, like 100% legal stuff in there.
Right, well, but like a pipe by itself, you can legally purchase it somewhere.
Yes.
But that's my question, is I know that it's legal, but are you selling anything that can be used?
So, like I said, I'm not really big on that. Some of my store, we do sell a hand pipe, which is basically on the showcase where we keep them, says for tobacco use only. But inside my store, we don't, like, if the city say no, we don't carry it. We don't sell them.
But those are used, I mean, they're not used for tobacco. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean,
Yeah, but then again, you know, it's kind of iffy where to go because you can find pipes at the
Yeah,
convenience store.
convenience store,
you
exactly.
can, but that doesn't mean we should make it, put it more in the children's of this community, in their face.
Are you talking about 5-year-olds, or are you talking about 8?
I'm talking about 10-year-olds to 18-year-olds, because
We-
there's a lot of young people
we have-
vaping too in this town.
So that leads me to ask you, what is the age limit?
Okay, we
entering your
have,
store?
on the door, every time we open the store, the first thing my employee, they have to be trained, they have to have a TBC license to work there, that's the first thing. And plus, we train in our management, we train the employee like for almost 2 weeks. And plus, on the door, we have a big sign, nobody allowed under 21. Even if the parents with them, we're not letting them in to come into our business. We have a big sign, nobody allowed under 21. The first thing we put on the door is that sign.
What is the rule for vaping as far as age is concerned?
So vaping actually is for now it's legal. Like it's what I'm selling in my store, the vape juice, the e-juice, they're all FDA approved. They're all American companies. We're not just getting from everybody from all around the world to sell it in our shop. We have a certain companies that they're FDA approved and they're legal to be sold at the store.
But smoking is legal over 18.
What did
So
you-
if-
It's actually 21. In 2019 they changed the law.
So answering my question, what age can somebody buy a vaping product?
If they're over 21,
Okay.
yes, over 21.
Like he just said, anybody under 21 is not allowed at the store, and that would take care of what Councilman Williams is concerned about.
That would help
Well, the vaping is a
somewhat.
big thing with me.
Still there.
Mayor, you need a motion. I make a motion that we go ahead and approve,
Okay, we have a second.
Second.
Other additional discussion?
Yes. I encourage, the new business into the city of Hondo. I just, I hope that you take the concerns that the council has expressed and the restrictions that we have placed heavily. And, I really hope that you have a lot of success, but.
Thank you.
I think that the things that were expressed up here are really big concerns.
Actually, I'm a part, I call myself a part of this community and I'm a part of this society, so I'm not gonna sell in any of my business anything that is make the community go in a wrong way or bad or illegal. You can all, like anybody can visit my stores all around. I'm not selling anything that's bad for the community. My places, my smoke shop is totally different than any other smoke shop. Like they can sell all type of things, but I'm not. I'm just have all legit and 100% legal things that it can be sold.
Going to hold you to that.
Yeah, thank you.
Can we clarify the restrictions that are being put into place before we take?
Well, that's a good question. I think if we approve this, it would be contingent upon what he agreed to as far as lights. Would that be right?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes, so it's my understanding, and y'all may want to include it in the action, that the restriction would be to prohibit the exterior LED lights. If there's any other restrictions that y'all feel are necessary to add regarding the name of the business or the age of entry, those may be pertinent as well.
I think it's important, the name of the business, to eliminate, the 420. And then mandate the signage at the front door, the 21.
Councilman Villa, you agree with those contingencies on your
Yes, sir.
motion?
Yes, sir.
Who seconded that a while ago?
Councilman
You
Wood.
agree that, Mr. Councilman Uterski?
Yes, sir.
Okay, further discussion?
Yes, sir.
You okay? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against?
Opposed.
Motion carries 4-1.
Thank you.
Laura. Thank you, sir. I think we've got plenty of time. We can go back to item 9, which is a proclamation for National Hospital Week. I'm not going to read that. It's fairly lengthy. I did read it this morning at the hospital as they started off their National Hospital Week. If somebody wants me to read it, I just open for a motion to approve that resolution.
So moved.
Do we have a second? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Do we have anything important enough to go into executive session? Yes. Okay, we're going into executive session at 6:55. We'll need to clear the chambers.